How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Have You Seen This? Season 2, Episode 5, if I'm not mistaken. I really should have checked that before the episode started.
Oh, dear. God damn.
Right?
Mhm.
We got some great TV news to talk about. We got trailers for both She-Hulk and The Boys. We've got some Doctor Who news, which is always fun to talk about. We've got actually two different Doctor Who newses to talk about, but that's a whole other thing.
I think
And
that's a word.
then no big main topic today, so we're expanding our news section a little bit, gonna talk a little bit longer on some of the topics, and then when we move into the what are we watching, we'll just, ramble off about a bunch of different shows that everybody's been watching. So
Dear
real
me. I was
fun,
going to
packed
talk
show,
about
lots of
books.
things to talk about. Hmm?
I said I was going to talk about books.
You should talk about books,
I
Rob.
can't. I wouldn't.
But obviously first we gotta ask, how's it going?
Oh, it's going just great. Hockey doesn't exist and won't exist until September or October, so everything is just fine here.
Yep. That's about how I feel too. I was very sad. Obviously, Montreal gets the first pick in the draft. That is, where is it? I think it's in Montreal this year, of course.
Butthole.
So I'm actually kind of interested in that. Hey, Dave knows what's up. Yeah. Well, obviously they're out. They played a game 7, but that's yeah. We shouldn't really talk. Where are any of our teams?
Mine are on a higher plane.
Yeah. Well,
On a higher plane
we'll
right
see you
now.
in October,
They
everybody.
declined the playoffs this year, guys. So you know
But
what?
hey,
We're fine.
yeah. We just we decided to rest instead. Rest is a weapon. That's what they say in hockey, right?
Yeah. They couldn't wait to get out of Winnipeg either. They're like, guys, come on. We're just gonna go on a vacation. It's fine.
Seems fair. Seems fair.
Mm-hmm.
Basically the same in Ottawa, Canada. What are you gonna do?
No one even knows where that is.
Exactly. Anywho, so first, what do we want to talk about? I think I want to talk about Doctor Who.
Very good.
Because one, not only do we have our new Doctor announced, which is super fun. Interested to see, Russell T Davies back. That's going to be great too. And then we also have some filming sets that have, revealed some set photos that have a certain David Tennant and Catherine Tate walking around. Interestingly enough, Jodie Whittaker's TARDIS, not his own. Yeah, because even the blue of the TARDIS does change from Doctor to Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, an astute observation from one person kind of shows that yes, it seems that in the 60th anniversary, which in all likelihood will be episode 1 of Doctor Who, when Russell T Davies takes over. I cannot remember what season it's in at this point.
No pressure on the new guy.
And I think that I can at least say is the 14th Doctor. At least I can keep that straight.
14th-ish.
Yeah, 14th-ish if you don't count War, because he wasn't a number for some reason, and also if you don't count like all of the ones that came before, which were only announced this season.
Are they just going to stop numbering the doctors to say this is the current doctor? That's all you can. I think that's all you can really say, because there can be so many now. I think how many was there supposed to be? 12.
I don't know, and I kind of hope that
12.
does come up in the next season as the Doctor starts interacting with even further versions of themselves. I would like to see how they start numbering the negative Doctors. Let's call them. Because it is interesting that prior to the first Doctor, people were calling them the Doctor. And it has been established that they took the name of the Doctor, as Time Lords do choose their own names. So clearly there are other versions before the first that we're known to. And now we need to figure out. I would like the Doctor to start like naming them in reverse order and trying to figure out, like, should they use negative numbers? Should they use letters? Should they use something else? Some sort of weird coding system? That would be very amusing.
Way too difficult to me. Just call yourself Doctor, and that's fine. You're the Doctor. That's fine. Who gives a shit what number you are? You're the Doctor now.
Well, I guess
Doctor now. Yes. You're the Doctor now.
Like in universe, I don't think the Doctor has ever referred to themselves as the numbered version. And
funny, though.
You know, if they did, they would probably have to count a couple twice because like oh my god, it's Tennant who regenerates into himself, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. I really didn't want to screw that one up. And yeah, so technically all of the Doctors are pushed one more forward if you're really going to talk about in-universe numbering, but they don't number them in the universe.
I think in his universe, time isn't linear anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, plus, like, I guess we kind of could have guessed that when the Doctor keeps saying how old they are, because, like, it's several generations worth of people, and I don't know, you'd have to assume they didn't all live to 100, so some of them had to have not lived that long. Yeah, so I'm kind of excited to see David Tennant back.
As long as it's brief, you don't need a story arc with it. If you throw him into one episode, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. And it's the anniversary.
Let the kid have his own show. Like let them have their own show. Like the other Doctors didn't show up until well into his establishment as the Doctor and stuff like that. Like he didn't. He showed up in Matt Smith's. I can't remember if there was any other Doctors in Tennant's. I don't remember like a Day of the Doctor or anything like that in Tennant's. Was there?
No. Yeah. I don't recall any specific one, but there may have been like a reference to, or that he was around another version of himself, you know.
Yeah, sure.
Things like that. But it also stands to reason. Mm-hmm. It also stands to reason that as the Doctor gets older and older themselves, they will start interacting with themselves more often throughout history, because there's only so many historical events to go to.
Almost as many Doctors as there are regular people in the world.
Essentially, yes, that is what I'm saying. Like, over the exponential amounts of time travel adventures and how many times the Doctor has existed, yes, there is only so much history.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Finite.
And yeah. And, you know, it's an anniversary episode. It'll be cool. I am kind of interested because it's Jodie Whittaker's TARDIS, and so maybe there's a chance she's in it too. And so there, again, could be another 3-Doctor episode. It's just...
Or it could leave with a cliffhanger on this one when she's changing. Maybe two different things happen. Maybe Tennant shows up in the season finale or in Jodie's finale somehow. Yeah. Who knows? And just leave it for the cliffhanger for go on to the 60th anniversary one.
Yeah.
So who knows?
And that's like November 23rd, 2023. So that's quite a ways off.
That's a long time.
There's one more episode coming this year, one more special, and then we have to wait until November, which is why I assume it's just the first episode of the new season, and they're immediately just going to roll in. And like, I got to assume that season of Doctor Who will air starting November 23rd, which would be interesting. It'll put the holiday episode in the middle of the season, so it could actually be airing during the holidays.
Well, it'll be 4 episodes in.
Yeah.
Well, at least he'll have gotten used to the big Doctor Who specials by then. If you're having a 60th anniversary, the Christmas special, the New Year's episode coming up after that.
And well, the anniversary especially, because that should be, I mean, either the season finale will be our introduction to the new Doctor, or it will be that episode.
You would think it would have to be, right? You'd think it'd have to come in that. Why introduce him now? You still got a year and a half.
And that's what I assumed, honestly. I assumed that it would be him up until I read that article that says they seem to be hanging out with like Jodie's TARDIS and it could just be that the TARDIS hasn't made its transformation yet. It doesn't always do it immediately either.
Wow.
So who really knows? Doctor Who is a very strange show, and we will have to wait until at least this Christmas / New Year's, whichever day they decide to put the special on. I can't remember what it is.
Is that how long they're waiting to air the last episode? I thought it was just this fall. I thought it was September.
It might be in the fall, but I just knew there was only 3 episodes in 2022, and we already got 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So just waiting on the last one, and that will be possibly our goodbye to Jodie Whittaker.
Now, what did you hear? What did you hear about this? They may have a new girl coming in as a new Rose. Have you heard about this?
I have not heard anything about that, and I would be very upset if they bring anyone who isn't Billie Piper to play Rose.
Yeah, they're talking about Yasmin Finney maybe coming in as a new Rose.
Oof.
Breaking news.
I don't know.
Right here on the show. This is what we're all about.
I don't know about that.
My name should be @ScoopsYeti. Except I read it on the internet. So I didn't get nothing for Scoops. It's not like I had my ear to the Doctor Who ground. I just saw a thing and said, ooh, there's going to be a new Rose? Maybe they'll have Bad Wolf again?
Okay, no, it's just a character named Rose. She's not Rose Tyler.
Bad Wolves?
That would be...
Bad Wolves.
Whew. I think that's just Russell T Davies maybe playing with us a little bit. He's just like, oh, I'm going to introduce this companion. Her name is Rose. And we're all just sitting there going like, Russell T Davies is coming back. The companion's Rose. Like, we're coming back home.
Oh my God, nostalgia.
Yeah. And yeah, we didn't talk much about Catherine Tate at all. We talked quite a bit about Tennant. What did you think of Donna as a companion?
The first episode she was on, when she was on a Christmas special, I think, right? I think she was on a Christmas.
She was on a Christmas special a year before her season.
Right.
Like there was an entire season afterwards, after her special, and then she literally finds him a year later in universe. I'm pretty sure.
I hope he doesn't mean that over. I'll say breaking news. But anyways, oh my God, we did it!
Oh wow,
we did it! We still don't have the thing I've asked for.
I've had that. I've had that for like since the beginning, and we've never had breaking news.
Missed your shot. You missed your shot. You missed it. So yes, that Christmas episode, or I believe it was a Christmas episode. I didn't think very much of her. To tell you the truth, I know that when she came back, it took me a couple of episodes just to get over that Christmas episode. But by the end of her stay as the companion, I was all for it. I thought it was great. I thought she did a real good job.
Is that the spider one? Her Christmas episode?
You know what? I'm trying to think back to it right now.
The big star in the sky.
Ooh, I think so. I know
the spaceship that looked like a star because it was a spider web.
Right.
It was a weird Spider Queen thing. I actually was just not a huge fan of that whole episode in particular.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't
and like, while I would have to say that I do rank Donna maybe lowest. There may be a companion or two lower.
Of the new
I guess
of the new Who ones, you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would actually put the combination of Amy and Rory below Donna, but Amy and Rory on their own were actually better.
Oh my
whenever
God.
whenever they were interacting with the Doctor, and especially when they were in episodes alone, they were amazing. I did not like them on screen together. And yeah, like I actually rate them higher individually than together.
The man who waited.
Yeah, and that is great. But then whenever he's with Amy, it is terrible. All right. Before we go on ranking the entire companions of all of the new Who Doctors, we probably should move on.
Don't give any ideas to 50. It'll be
I know he will show up.
Yeah, you say companion 3 times.
And so let's move on. We've got some trailers to talk about.
Sure.
Let's go with the one that airs first, because the other one doesn't even have a released date yet. So let's talk about The Boys, because June is going to be so fucking awesome, my friends.
Yes.
Oh man, there's so many things coming out in June.
What do you think of the trailer?
I really liked this one. It answered some questions that we had on the last episode that we talked about The Boys, where I questioned a lot of things about Butcher, and maybe throw up a spoiler warning.
Right, yeah. Well, is it going to be a spoiler warning if it's in the trailer?
Again, some people don't watch.
Some people don't watch the trailer, but they want to come and watch a couple guys talk about the trailer, like it was announced on their show notes.
Yes, but again, it's just in case they, and like I was curious as to how he was going to get superpowers, and I'm interested in, if this is a kind of modified Compound V, if it's a competitor, if it's something.
One thing that I thought when I saw it is like that. There's this much amount. We'll give you 24 hours of being a suit. How much did they give those people to make sure they were a suit for their entire lives?
Well, yes, and also, if I'm not mistaken, it might have been a different color.
Twice as much.
Their liquid might have been blue. But it was only a vial, like about twice as big as that, maybe 3 times. And that's why I am curious if it's if it's stolen research, if it's a competitor, maybe. I do want to know more about that. And I wish we got a little bit more of Soldier Boy in the trailer. Just because,
the 2 scenes where you see him are kind of disjointed. I think one should come before the other one, maybe. I'm not sure.
And then, yes, and also they gave... Oh, yeah. See, they give those drugs to babies, and if you think about it, that vial in relation to a baby's body is a lot bigger compared to an adult's body, right?
That's right.
There's a lot less baby. Anyway, that what I wanted to really find out was his relation to the Seven, and I feel like we didn't get a lot of that, and that's the one thing that I'm disappointed in.
Don't know if he was against the Seven and then in prison. If he was for the Seven, but Vought had to shut him down because he was getting say, too violent or something like that. Or maybe not violent enough. Maybe you started getting a heart about things. I don't know. I do enjoy the fact that 2 years in a row we have scenes of somebody going apeshit with a shield, killing somebody. Maybe that's going to be the new thing. You know how they had the 2 asteroid movies come down at the same time? And the trailer. It's in the trailer. We already put the spoiler warning on. I do enjoy the new graphics. I'm still waiting for the one that says TVMA. You sons of bitches. But, yeah. There was the 2 asteroid movies at the same time. There was the 2 volcano movies at the same time. Now we're getting 2 super soldiers killing dudes with shields. Close enough to the same time. I'm all for it.
Yeah, and yeah, I've loved the series so far.
Yes.
I really like everything that they do with the different degenerate superheroes.
Better than any Marvel show yet.
I'm pretty sure there's at least one other superhero in the trailer that I didn't recognize either, and like a costume that I was just like, who the hell was that? But you know, gotta watch to find out. It's only a few weeks away, June 3rd.
Hugh has joined the government in some capacity. It seems like as well.
Yeah, that seems weird. It seems like there's some sort of time jump, or that's from further in the season.
Well, I think they've shown that was I think they said in the trailer that it was a year after the things that had just happened and stuff like that.
At least, yeah, like the conversation that she has with Butcher. So I wonder if the gap is going to happen right away, or partway into the season could be interesting too. So yeah, they did a good job with that trailer too. Like, it got me interested. It was bloody as hell.
You know what they gotta show? They gotta show like the 4 dudes just sitting around a table playing cards for 2.5 minutes. Nobody swears.
Actually,
just see them playing cards or whatever. And I'm like, fuck yeah, season 3.
Okay, no, they would actually need to swear. I'm sorry, they would need to swear and shit, but like literally just like the boys sitting around playing poker and just getting really angry at each other would have been a great trailer. Yes.
That's a great 2.5 minute trailer.
And a great just like character piece too. Like,
speaking of greatness, how many people exploded in that trailer? So good. It's so fun.
I could not tell you. At least more than 3. That is absolutely true.
Love it.
I think you could get drunk if you just took a shot every time someone explodes and you only watch that 2-minute trailer.
Ooh, that's a bet. That sounds like a bet.
So, I have to check my notes for a second. Because I can't remember the next topic.
How dare you?
John Watts. We gotta talk about John Watts.
I think that was just announced today, right? I think it was.
I may have seen something yesterday, but it was in the last day or so.
Very recent. Guys, hot off the presses. You gotta grab that. Hot off the presses.
We know 2 things. We know that John Watts is getting a Star Wars TV show. So there's another Star Wars TV show coming out. So another Disney project. They're slowly taking over the world, but for now we get some cool shows. We don't really know anything about it except that it takes place after Return of the Jedi. That's all I've heard.
Is it that universe? Is it that universe of Star Wars? Like, it's between, like, it's like around the Mandalorian then? Is that kind of era?
All I've, like, basically all I was able to read when I was reading the article is that he's helming a Star Wars show, and it's going to take place after the Return of the Jedi. So somewhere between episode 6 and episode 7.
So Mandalorian era.
Yeah.
You could bump into the Mandalorian? Maybe. Who knows? What are you expecting? Are you expecting like a Spider-Man style Star Wars, like a more comedy style Star Wars. What are you expecting?
That could be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I am just quickly looking up John Watts so I can find out, other than Spider-Man, what this guy's done.
Well, he was gonna do the Fantastic Four, but he's out of that. I don't know if he's out of that because someone said, "Hey, you want to do a whole bunch of Star Wars shows?" And he was
Yeah.
money, please. And they said, "Yeah, whatever. We don't need it. Help yourself, for God's sakes." So there you go.
And yeah, like very, very interested. Like I've liked all of the Spider-Man movies. I think like No Way Home is one of my favorite movies because it was just like from start to finish, I was just engrossed in the movie. I wasn't actually, trying to pick out details and everything like I was doing with the Doctor Strange movie, which if we were a movie review show, I would have so many things to say about that movie. But we talk about TV here. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm really looking through his IMDb page and not having a huge bunch of things to look through, honestly.
Right. Well, that's fine.
It's made a couple of smaller things than the Spider-Man movies.
See, I think of the Spider-Man movies a lot like if you would have given John Hughes, like if John Hughes was alive and give him a chance to do a Star Wars movie. That's how I kind of feel about those ones. Have those John Hughes kind of vibes to it. So I wonder if they're going to make like a Star Wars, like a John Hughes Star Wars kind of TV show. I don't know if it's going to be like in a Jedi Academy or in a Pilot Academy or whatever the hell they have for those goddamn things. They could all be Y-wing guys or something. Who knows? But have it like a school and just have like your bunch of friends or whatever, and then maybe ne'er-do-wells. And then something happens and they got to go and fight people. I would imagine that could be what the show would be about. But it's a Star Wars show that's been announced. So we've got 50 fucking years until we see it anyways. It's on top of the other ones. Guys, only 500 more shows to go until we get this one.
To sum up John Watts, I can tell you he's done a couple of random comedy things, like the Onion News Network TV series that was in 2011. Okay. He also wrote and directed a horror movie called Clown in 2014.
No idea.
And he was a producer and wrote the story for Final Destination 6, everyone's favorite Final Destination. Especially because it came after the one they called The Final Destination, but that is a whole other thing.
I'm going to tell you this so that you never get angry again. All horror movie producers are liars.
Well, I guess all movie producers are liars.
How dare you?
They literally tell fiction.
Very unfair.
Every actor you've ever met is lying to you.
Unbelievable.
Everyone you've ever seen is lying to you.
A guy. Oh, it's a tale.
That's about right. Yeah.
That's just like the nursery rhyme.
And that's why no one should ever put on a goddamn clown costume. I mean, already if you're putting on a clown costume, you are making a mistake somewhere. Yeah. So just don't.
Yeah. Every time a man puts on a clown costume, an eagle gets his wings torn off. Every time.
I don't know. If there was a particular Spider-Man movie that you would like the Star Wars series to be like, which one would it be? Would you rather it be like big and action like No Way Home was, or like actually freaking Far From Home was kind of?
I want Homecoming. I want Homecoming again, please.
Yeah, just like campy and kind of fun and just
great
like
villain. Fantastic
about
villain.
discovery.
Yeah, nobody whining and crying.
Oh, that would actually be really cool. Just make a story about a child discovering force powers, and it's literally just a Spider-Man movie.
There you go. It just wrote itself. And also, that guy is also a Greedo.
Make it a Greedo.
Mm-hmm.
Or a Wookiee. I want a
Hammerhead.
Wookiee Jedi.
I like the Hammerhead. Oh, it could be the Broom Kid show. That takes place after Return of the Jedi. It takes place after most people's favorite Star Wars movies, doesn't it?
Okay, moving on from Disney to Disney.
Good. Oh, good. You know what they need? More people talking about them. Come on, guys, let's help them
out. We've got a trailer for She-Hulk, starring Canada's own Tatiana Maslany.
Emmy Award winner.
I believe so, yes. Honestly,
probably a really good javelinist.
I was actually arguing during her run on Orphan Black that at one point she should have been nominated for lead and supporting actress, because technically she was playing several lead and supporting characters.
How dare you? How dare you?
And like, at least nominate her for both. She doesn't have to win both at the same Emmy, but she should have been on both ballots.
Can you be a lead and a supporting actor at the same time?
If you play a lead and a supporting character, for sure.
Would you be like number 1 and number 3 on the call sheet at the same time?
She played 9 characters. At some point, you probably need a second line on the call sheet. But yeah, but to get to the actual She-Hulk trailer, I think this show is going to be very fun. If you want a fun comedy, I think She-Hulk is actually going to be that.
Well, it was always supposed to be like Ally McBeal as a superhero, right? That's what this show was always supposed to be. Like at the comic run, that's what she is. It's a very different style comic book. Like She-Hulk back in the 80s and stuff like when I first knew She-Hulk, she was actually a member of the Fantastic Four. So this is going back 84, 85, something like that. And she'd been around, of course, much longer than that. But yeah, like I've always known, like, you know, Jennifer Walters is going to be a DC lawyer. And she can stay as the She-Hulk all the time. Everybody recognizes her She-Hulk, but everyone treats her like Jennifer. They don't treat her like She-Hulk until, you know, shit starts to go down and she has to go wreck some shit. But she was always the one that was able to keep, you know, her own psyche and not have like an animalistic, just rage and hate take over, like the embodiment of rage. She was always just, you know, super smart, could throw people around. Indestructible. But yeah, you know, had trouble holding on to guys. Dated a lot of superheroes. Yeah, that's what the shows should be about. That's who this character is. So if anyone's like, oh, like I don't get it, like when she's, you know, dating trouble and stuff like that, it's like that's what she has. She has dating trouble. That's the show. That's the entire show, guys. And like some people also complain about the CGI. It's like they got a couple months to clean up. Like that's the least of my worries. That she looked a little like Shrek. It's gonna get cleaned up.
I am kind of.
I think Disney has cash to fix it.
Yeah, and to Dave's little bubble there, I would have to say that I'm not sure they're going to lean into that. It took Marvel like 14 years to use the word magic. And like from day one they had a Scarlet Witch. And it's just they're in some ways so afraid to jump fully into the comic universe. And they have, you know, they have successfully piecemealed everything to the readers, but I really worry about like the fourth wall breaking characters, other than Deadpool, which I really don't think is ever going to interact in a real style, like Avengers team up. You're never going to see him. So it's fine that he talks to the camera, but I don't know if
She doesn't
they'll
talk to the
go that.
camera. I don't think. I don't remember She-Hulk ever breaking the fourth wall as much as Ally McBeal never really broke the fourth wall. I mean, they had that weird shit like the dancing baby and stuff like that. They've had weird things happen, but I don't remember ever talking to the camera or whatever, talking to the audience. Oh my god, Russian walls. Well, I guess so. I think Daniel fell asleep. Daniel fell asleep in terror.
Okay, here's an update. Breaking news.
Hit the graphic. God damn it. Sleep on the job. Yeah! Fuck you! Breaking news.
And yes, Jennifer Walters has been known to break the fourth wall in the She-Hulk comics, so it's not entirely surprising then that the forthcoming Disney Plus series will follow suit.
Oh, there you go. And now it's just paving the way for Deadpool.
Yeah. And yeah.
I don't remember that. It's not like I've been reading She-Hulk comics nonstop since 1995.
Oh, she's gonna speak to the viewers, yeah.
Oh, there you are. She's and not just as a self narrator. Mm-hmm.
And see, they could have done something like that to make an Easter egg nod to the fact that she does in the comic without making it a full thing, by just making her narrate the show a little bit. But if they're going to go all the way, that's very interesting as well.
Let's go all the way. Let's go.
And that's TBD air date. It is slated for this year.
I thought it was in August. I thought they said in the trailer August 12th or something like that.
I
changed their mind.
May have missed that in the trailer, but I did Google it earlier and could not.
I kept thinking, oh, they got a couple of months to clean up some CGI here. I don't know how long it takes. And then I was thinking, well, each progressive one, you get an extra week or something.
If so, you did catch it quicker than Google, Wikipedia, and
Well, of course, guys, come on.
Yeah. So
how would you? Well, how dare you? Why would you even think that?
So, as opposed to shows that we're excited to watch, let's get into some shows that we are watching.
Sure.
And what are we watching? I, over the last week, watched the final 3 back half of the Pentaverate.
Mm-hmm.
Had a lot of fun watching that. I am also... I'm hearing in my ear that our producer loves this show so much, it might be his favorite.
Yeah, he was talking about this is the time that Mike Myers gets 2 Emmys, possibly a Tony, for each role he's ever played on this show.
That's strike 2. That's strike 2, guys. I will shut this show down.
It's pretty rude. Unbelievable. Mike Myers might be the next Prime Minister of Canada.
That would be awful. But
he'll also be the Minister of Defense. He's just gonna dress up as different things. He's gonna dress up as Jean Chrétien for one too.
Mike Myers will elect himself as every position in the cabinet and just play different ministers. That actually sounds like a movie I would watch.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic. Mike Myers, Prime Minister. That's all it has to be called.
And yeah, real fun show. I did like a bunch of the nods to like every single Mike Myers project ever. I loved watching Shrek.
He doesn't have fresh jokes. They may be new, but they're not fresh. You've seen these before, so if you've watched the other movies and you enjoyed them, you'll probably enjoy the show. If you watch the movies so much that you got fucking sick and tired of the jokes, you might not like the show. I was fortunate enough to only watch enough of the movies that I would enjoy the show, so I did. Yeah, I liked it. It was, I don't need to have a second season of the Pentaverate. It's how dare you? You're gonna lose our CRTC license. So he put a show together. It's basically a 3-hour movie, just broken up into 6 parts so you can watch it as you want. It's fine. It's fine. It's a fine show. It's good. You know, I'm not upset that I watched the show. I don't need to have another. If he wants to do another style show like that, where he plays a bunch of different characters, and we'll get Dave on the show somehow, so he's not so upset by it, then fine. But yeah, you can do whatever you want with it, Mike. Oh my dear God! I don't think that's how it works. How dare you?
And yeah, I had a lot of fun watching the show. I thought everything was like, you know, perfect Mike Myers. You're very correct that there's nothing new or groundbreaking, but everything is like perfectly Mike Myers.
You haven't seen Mike Myers do anything in a while. You know what I mean? Like you've seen it. Well, you got to see him do this sort of thing. Go and play a completely different character on the Gong Show, the Gong Show, which was produced by Will Arnett, and which I freaking loved. I loved the Gong Show. I was upset that they took it off. But yeah, he played a completely different. He was never Mike Myers on the show. He was this British comedian from the 1970s, stuff like that. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I like from Mike Myers. So yeah. Go ahead and shoot your shot, Mike. Do whatever the hell you want. But the Leafs still suck. So sorry,
of course. And yeah, so I will watch most things that I find Mike Myers is in. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun. We were just joking. Dave, again, really does not like this show. And it's okay, because I guess he had to not enjoy it for us to like it so much, because it is really, really dumb.
I think I enjoy talking about it in a way that Dave might not like it even more than liking it.
If all of us liked it, yeah, it wouldn't be quite so fun to talk about.
Yeah. Like again, no one's falling in love with the Pentaveret. We don't need another Pentaveret, but it was fun. If you want if you want 3 hours worth of shit to watch, edit once a day. You can watch half an hour for an entire week almost. Take a day off in the middle if you'd like. You can do it. It's fun.
Yeah. If you want 3 hours of shit to watch, just go check out Moon Knight on Disney Plus. I mean,
how dare you?
Sorry.
Breaking
news.
They
didn't take us out.
Ken Jeong coming out with his own show. He's going to be playing 8 characters. He's going to be playing his entire family, a la Eddie Murphy in the Nutty Professor movies. But Ken Jeong.
Are you just writing this show?
I'm not saying.
Okay, sure.
I'll let you know when the check comes in.
And yeah, so we can move on to a different show that I've been watching a bunch of this week.
It's going to be called
which
The
is
Show, by the way.
The CW universe is slowly dying. Yeah, they canceled a bunch of the different shows. Batwoman and Legends were canceled earlier this season. I'm pretty sure this is the last of Flash. It might get one more season. I'm not positive. Supergirl's done. Stargirl didn't technically exist in that universe, but it might be canceled too at this point. And yeah, they were canceling a bunch of different superhero shows. Maybe just a possibility that like Warner Brothers is trying to kind of consolidate and regroup, and
it's
so
just like the Netflix did, like Disney saying, "Yo, Netflix, beat it."
Yeah. And so yet announced.
Does Warner Brothers have are they part of HBO then? Warner Brothers? So I'm pretty sure that's where Watchmen showed up and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I know DC is owned by Warner Brothers. I'm not sure if the CW is owned by Warner Brothers or if it's a Netflix type situation where they rent the characters.
W doesn't stand for Warner.
I do not know.
Oh dear.
And my phone died, so I can't look it up. Yeah, but I do know that all of those characters they do. Although interestingly enough, the producer of basically all of those shows, the Kevin Feige of CW, yes, he, as far as I've most recently looked it up, because I check on it every now and then, is still set to produce and create a Green Lantern TV series for HBO Max.
And needed all the money for that. They got to pull all this other stuff so they can have Green Lantern.
They will need quite a lot of money for that. But also,
which Green Lantern are they doing?
This is Warner Brothers, so you do have to remember that they own not only DC but all of HBO, so they have Game of Thrones dragon money. They got the dragon bucks.
And those are very lucrative. You get like 30 of them, and that's a lot.
Dragon bucks stretch pretty far, and so we do. I am so interested in a Green Lantern series. I really want to.
Which Green Lantern do you want?
It doesn't really matter to me. I am more interested in the actual the lore of the lanterns than I care about any individual one.
So you'd rather be more on Owa? Is that what the name
yes,
of it is?
Yeah. I want Blackest Night. I love Blackest Night, and it's the one crazy multiverse crisis that they have not pulled off on the CW yet.
Are you looking forward to having yellow lanterns and red lanterns and purple horseshoes?
Yes. I want all of the lanterns. I want Supergirl to get a red lantern ring. I want them to drop her off at Superman's feet and be like, we can't deal with a red lantern Kryptonian. Please get rid of this. You watch her.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I believe it is actually the Red Lanterns that are just like, no, we can't deal with this anymore. She's too powerful.
Which ones are the bad ones? The yellow ones are the bad ones? Or yellow and the red ones are bad ones?
The yellow ones are the bad ones. The red ones are
seriously named Sinestro as their leader.
Yeah, the red ones can go back and forth. Where yellow is fear and red is rage. So rage, sometimes Red Lanterns can use their powers for good, and Kyle Rayner is master of all of the colors. And
red, yellow, orange. Holy shit! How many of them? Oh my god, they're confusing to me.
My favorite are actually the Indigo Lanterns, which are not blue lanterns. They're slightly different, and it's something about compassion, I believe, but also as soon as you get an Indigo Lantern ring, your entire person is rewritten. And you don't have free will as an Indigo Lantern. You're just there to serve the will of compassion or whatever the feeling is.
I'd want to be a burnt sienna.
And yeah, so all of the DC shows are ending, but DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
You're a big fan of these Warner Brothers.
I am.
Are you going to be sad to see them all go, or do you think for most of them it's about time, honestly, that they should go?
It's definitely about time for Flash. I think they should have shortened the seasons years and years ago, and that could have helped it along quite a bit, but too little too late on that front. I really enjoyed, honestly, the entire universe nowadays was being propped up by their crossover series. And like, because every year you could watch a 5-part TV movie that literally smashed all of the characters together. They basically took like a budget of one season of one of these shows and put it into just those 5 episodes. Like, they were awesome. And it was honestly just cool that they were allowed to play in some of the craziest DC storylines that otherwise would take years and years of building up to actually get to on a big screen. And like Crisis on Infinite Earths is an insane storyline. Like, it's Multiverse of Madness.
I saw the cartoon for that one.
Hmm?
I think I saw the cartoon of that one.
Yeah, and yeah, it's on the level of Multiverse of Madness and No Way Home, which Marvel took freaking 14 years and 28 movies to get to, you know? Like, it's complicated. Yeah. And yeah.
Wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me wait a second. Are you trying to tell me that DC Comics rushes into their movies? I won't buy it. Do you think they
No,
go into
I would never tell you that.
Thinking it through?
I would never tell you that, and I would never tell you that Zack Snyder's not a good filmmaker.
Martha.
But yeah, to conclude what I was saying there, I do think one DC show did deserve to stick around, and that was the Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, you like that show.
But the problem with them, in some ways, and they got over it by just introducing their own characters from their own universe, but is like the original concept of the show was a bunch of cast-offs from history, and they were a bunch of like interesting characters that were not going to be able to be continually written into their respective shows. And so that was really cool, and they don't have any more connected shows, so there's no more people to recruit to the Legends, so they've had to recruit their own friends along the way. And they've introduced some new characters, and that's really fun too. And I literally just watched the most Doctor Who episode of a show that was not called Doctor Who.
No way.
Where like they're running around inside a person's mind, or not actually a person, she's the human version of an AI supercomputer. And they're inside her mind, and then they jump into a further version of her mind inside her mind. It's the most insane shit ever.
And let's write a TV show.
More or less, yeah.
Nice.
And like there was that episode where the TARDIS is like leaking, and there's a bunch of nightmares on it, and the companions are running around in the tunnels of the TARDIS, and they keep expanding and expanding. And I cannot remember what that episode is. And yeah, it reminded me a lot of that though. And yeah, I read an article that this last season of Legends does end with a crazy thing that I haven't got to, because I'm gonna end up watching all of this show within the next 2 days for sure, but I am trying to keep this last season as long as I can, because I really like the Legends.
That's how it works? As long as you don't watch that last episode, it's still going?
See, actually, this is how it works, and I've done this many a time. Especially with the last season of shows, it's very difficult for me to kind of let them go. Very
about this before.
Yeah, very much like David Tennant. Rip the last page out so the adventure never ends, you know? But I end up like I leave a finale for so long that like when I go back to it, I get to watch the whole last season and then watch the finale. And it's it's not getting 2 stories, obviously, but it's getting a unfinished story and then the conclusion of it after having watched all of it again. And, you know, I actually remember everything because I binge it the second time rather than watching it week to week or something.
You can do that with How I Met Your Father.
No. No. Oh my god. Whew. I will not get into that show. And yeah, so sad to see it go, but very excited to see what they do with the last season. They're currently stuck in the past because in the last season, and their cliffhanger was they saved the world, they stopped the alien invasion, I think it was. And then they're standing there, they're walking towards their time machine ship, and another version of the same ship flies in from the temporal zone and blows up their spaceship and then flies away.
Polite. It's pretty rude.
And so they're stuck in 1925 and they have absolutely no idea how that happened. And then
Prohibition. Oh my god.
And then their magic user tries to resurrect the ship, but instead resurrects the ship's supercomputer as a person. And so Gideon is just a human now, I think. I don't know if she's fully human. We'll find out.
Who's the magic user on that one? Zatanna, or is it a different one?
No, they had Constantine for a little bit. He showed up after they broke time and let out a bunch of demons by accident.
Nice.
That were basically held in time cages.
Was it a British Constantine or was it a Keanu Constantine?
It was the British Constantine, the one from the Constantine show. And then he ends up, they literally just folded the Constantine show into Legends, and we basically got him saving Astra. And so Astra comes back, and then she's practicing under Constantine for a little bit. And then, yeah, so Astra is their current magic user because Constantine is no longer on the team.
And they didn't put Swamp Thing on the show?
No Swamp Thing. That would be great if he showed up. Because of the cool Mindscape episode. And again, this reminded me of Doctor Who because it was seeing a million different people displaced throughout time. They had basically almost every member of the Legends show up.
Hawkman and Hawkgirl on that show?
There was literally, sadly, no Hawkgirl. Hawkman was in this memory episode. Mick and Captain Cold. You got Rip. You got basically everyone. Ray was there. All of the original Legends, and then several people from throughout the story as well. And, you know, they just forgot Kendra. They forgot Wally. Little people that I guess, you know, it's one more person to drag in for one single shot.
They didn't deserve it.
But I was obviously less upset that Wally wasn't there than Kendra, because they literally have the entire original Legends of Tomorrow roster except for Haku. Like,
oh my god.
Oh, maybe.
What a jerk.
That, you know, good for her then. there are honestly
princessing. Oh my
God. There are honestly better things than
I've heard it a million times. Someone's too busy princessing to go on a superhero show.
Yes, there are better things than reprising your role as Hawkgirl on the CW verse, because honestly, it was interesting, but they're the least, like, their storyline in season 1 is the least interesting that Legends of Tomorrow ever is.
Must be nice to be able to give up $600 or whatever they can. Probably about $600.
Yeah. And yeah, so
cable money.
That,
how dare you? Maybe she's too sad. She's too broken hearted. She was a princess, and now she's a pauper like the rest of us.
Yeah.
You sad.
So that's about it for me. Basically, I am kind of disappointed because, like, I want DC TV as much as I want Marvel TV, you know? So I really hope that they're canceling all these shows, because either Warner Brothers is planning to bring a bunch of them back in a big way, or the CW is maybe gearing up to maybe roster a few different people and make a new DC show. That would be fun too. I've heard
the Plastic Man show, guys. Come on. I love that.
And yeah.
I love the cartoon when I was a kid. Plastic Man.
Speaking of reboots, though,
Sure. Yep.
You have a show to talk about called The Kids in the Hall.
Kids in the Hall are back. This is actual Kids in the Hall. This isn't Kids in the Hall starring in a show where they have like this whole scripted thing. This is Kids in the Hall. This is Kids in the Hall doing 4 or 5 sketches. It's back. The shadowy men from a shadowy planet playing the theme. It's back. Everything is right. Everything is fucking perfect with the show. I've only watched 3 episodes, so I could do the show and I could talk about it a little bit, because I want the show to be mine, and I don't need to talk about it anymore because the show is fucking hilarious. It's something that I always watched throughout high school and stuff like that. It was a big, Kids in the Hall, and everyone would do the crushing your head joke. We'd all do those kind of things and stuff like that. I still know the chords to Smoke on the Water from that one sketch with the devil going E-A-B, E-A-B-A, E-A-B-B-A. That's how you play it, folks. It's fantastic. Of course, it's on Amazon Prime now. With CBC used to be able to get away with a little bit. Used to get the odd swear used to go in there. This is on Amazon Prime, all 8 episodes. They were allowed to do whatever they wanted. So within the first 5 minutes of the Kids in the Hall being back for the first time since 1996. I think 1996 was the last the TV show that aired. Within 5 minutes, there's already been 1 bat bomb and 2 cases of full frontal male nudity. They don't give a shit. They give no shits. Oh, and there's plenty more where that came from. But the cops came back. You saw the devil again right away. The Cathys are back. The Cathys actually play a big part in this whole thing, or in the first couple episodes I saw. So yes, everything I wanted with the Kids in the Hall is back. There hasn't even been a chicken lady yet. I don't know if there is going to be, but I love those episodes too. The cancer kid, I'm hoping he's going to be back. I got to see Kids in the Hall live in Winnipeg in 2009, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Of course, I was big to shit, but it only makes it better, folks. What I'm saying, get high and watch the Kids in the Hall. It's so good.
You heard it from Snark over here. The kids are Hall
Dr. Snark.
Sorry, I thought of that pun a couple seconds ago, and I needed to say it. So, I am not super familiar with the Kids in the Hall. I watched a trailer of it earlier, and it does seem very hilarious. So I do want to check it out, and it does seem like, it seems really funny. I do not know if it's specifically a type of show that I will be watching continually, but I hope the episodes impress me.
That's always one thing I was thinking of. Like, this is a show that's rebooted for someone like me. This is a show that's being rebooted. It's basically just a better version of Saturday Night Live, but for it was when I was, how old was I? 15 when it came out. I think it was 89. So I was 15 years old. So 15, by the time I was 15 till I was 21, the show was out. So like in my youth, like, is it fucking nostalgia? Yes, sir. 100%. It's nostalgia for me. But I think the jokes are fresh. I think they keep it all fresh. They don't change anything. Like it's still them doing everything. It's it's like Canadian Monty Python, but they're going even more. They're doing even more. They're doing more than Saturday Night Live ever could, and it's all under the same umbrella. So Lauren Michaels still producing it. It's done for Empire Television or whatever the hell they call themselves. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the 3 episodes I saw, it's classic Kids in the Hall. It's a little odd because it doesn't have. It's more professionally shot now. It doesn't have that CBC camera, which basically looks like this. It looks
kind of a little fuzzier.
There you go. But yeah, no, it's like the CBC or whatever. Everything looked like it was filmed on a home movie screen and stuff like that. And then you go and watch the States, and there's just produced all the shit. And it's like, holy hell, it looks like a movie. So this is what's happening with Kids in the Hall now. It looks better, but it's still the same Kids in the Hall. It's still and they don't have the studio audiences, so you don't have the laugh tracks anymore. You don't have people laughing or whatever, talking over stuff. So it's just the show. Now, laugh when you want to laugh at, what you shouldn't laugh at. No one's judging anymore. So Kids in the Hall, one of the shows I was most excited about seeing when the news broke that it was coming back, and it hasn't disappointed. But I got 5 episodes now that I can watch just for me, when I can watch whatever I want. Who knows when they're going to be doing another goddamn season of this. Hopefully they're going to be doing a whole goddamn bunch. But that means people got to watch it. So watch the damn show. Plus,
all right,
You're a Canadian. I will have you deported. I will have you deported.
You can't deport me. I'm from here.
Listen. Who's a doctor? Me or you? We'll find out.
Fine. If you get to be a doctor, can I be a reverend?
Absolutely not. Come on. You know how long it takes to become a reverend? Oh my God, you don't just name yourself one.
A couple hours?
Oh, that's true. You can. Well, yes. Are you considered a reverend if you get one of those internet things or whatever, so you can marry your friends? Can you call yourself a reverend? Oh,
not there, because that's actually because that's a minister's license. But you can, by just going online, you could even become a reverend doctor. There's like some place in New Jersey, I think it is. And yeah, if you pay them money, they will actually register you as a reverend doctor in their church. And so anyone could become a reverend.
My new name is Dr. Rob the Snark Esquire. Now I'm a lawyer too.
God damn.
An immigration lawyer.
This show is making you smarter. You weren't either of those things when we started it.
You don't know. I could have been.
Okay, I guess. You could have been.
Listen, I got just more free time on the internet, and now I'm a doctor lawyer.
All right. Before we get on to too many more tangents, we've got... this is the part of the show where we ask Dave for his opinions, rather than him just canceling us for ours.
Oh boy, here we go.
It's very rude.
Because we're going to talk about some Survivor.
The ghost of the show.
Whoa, spooky.
Oh my God, I am terrified. Looks just like Slimer.
Also, Snark, I'm really sad that Daniel cut into the right at the end of your rant, because I was going to drop this at the end of your Degrassi rant.
I like it.
I found a bunch of these GIFs on my computer that I was like, oh yeah, I was supposed to upload those into the StreamYard, and I just never did. Like, I got sad SpongeBob.
Aww.
Don't know what I'm going to use that one for yet, but it'll come up.
I mean, we did have the perfect moment, and it was when I first watched How I Met Your Father.
Oh my God.
Because that was me.
Yeah, but you did that to yourself, man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Again, the first episode, I couldn't have known. Okay, I could have known, because there were several reviews.
And Daniel, here's the thing. You could have known, and then you could have known after the second episode, and after the third episode, and the fourth episode.
Yes. Yeah. Episode 6 was pretty good, though.
Daniel, it wasn't. They lied to you.
Yeah, that's Stockholm Syndrome.
Anyway, I'm glad to be coming on to talk about Survivor, even though Daniel doesn't get to watch it because he lives in Quebec.
Yes, but I do know what
Doesn't
happened
even
on
live
the
in
last
Canada.
episode. I read the Wikipedia summary, so
That's the same thing.
I know who was eliminated. I know, and I did watch the episode from last week.
2 weeks
So
ago.
I watched 2 weeks ago, and so I watched the High's elimination, and I read the synopsis for this episode.
Sure.
Can I
Guys,
say
we're down a Canadian.
We're down a Canadian, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We only have a 30. We went from.
They cheated.
We only have a 33% chance now of getting a Canadian winner.
That's true.
Because we're down 2-6. But you know, Daniel was, or one of you was trying to say that Dre didn't actually count as a Canadian. So you know, we lost the least Canadian Canadian.
Yeah.
Rob said she wasn't Canadian, but right. I said she was because she speaks French. She came here, she moved here, she learned French.
Je parle français un petit peu.
But I gotta say, I am fucking over Do or Die, and I hope it never comes back because the math.
Explain Do or Die to me.
So Do or Die, Daniel, is you get to the immunity challenge, and Jeff says this is what it's going to be. You're essentially going to crucify yourself, and the last person to hang on wins.
That was weird.
But but
read Jonathan wins.
Yeah.
Somebody stabbed someone with a spear in the side.
But the twist in this round is if you are the first person out of the challenge, you have to do a game of chance at tribal council, which could automatically eliminate you without a vote, with no idols, no shot in the dark, nothing can save you. But to counteract that, you have the option to sit out of the contest. So you have no chance at immunity, but there's no chance you are out first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go there, and it's actually interesting because when they've only done this twice, last season and this season. Last season, only 2 people sat out. This season, only 2 people competed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Only Lindsay and Jonathan competed,
right.
Which is insane to me. But you get to the at Do or Die, the mechanism for if you get eliminated or not is the Monty Hall problem. Are you aware of that, Dan?
Yes.
I guess I should explain it for other people if other people watch this. But it's behind 3 doors, 2 things are bad, 1 thing is good. You pick a box. Then Jeff shows you one of the boxes you didn't pick, and it has a bad thing in it. And then he asks you, do you want to switch your box now?
Mm-hmm.
And the math says you should switch every time. That's what the math says. You have 66% chance of being right if you switch.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 seasons in a row, Daniel, they haven't switched, and nobody's gone home. They've always been right.
Ridiculous.
See, the problem with the Monty Hall problem is that the math is not telling you the deception of the person opening the door, because he knows always which door to open.
Mm-hmm.
And he will always open a bad door.
Yeah.
So, like, he is basically like the opening of the door and giving you the second pick is essentially the bait. Like, not in this, obviously, because they either go home or don't go home. And they do actually set up real doors, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can easily deceive the Monty Hall problem by just like, no, you always keep your pick because the guy wouldn't show you a bad door if he didn't want you to move.
No, he's always gonna. No, that's ridiculous. I don't think that's
Again,
true.
nobody gives you the Monty Hall problem if they're not trying to make you pick the bad door.
I get.
And so I'm gonna open a bad door only if you have the good one. I'm
Yeah.
only showing you. I'm only giving you the chance to change if I know you're sitting on the prize. Like,
maybe I
that,
guess
the math says to switch, but the problem is you're probably being lied to in this situation.
I guess. But the main reason I want to say that this challenge, this twist should never come back, is because it would have robbed us of an amazing moment at Tribal. If Lindsay had picked the wrong box and gone home, we would not have gotten Drea and Mike. Drea asking, using knowledge as power, and saying, "Mike, do you have an idol?" And Mike being like, "Nah, I don't have an idol." It's like, oh,
second time that's happened too.
That
which
good.
He lent his idol away, or I mean, obviously, yes. Once you are not in possession of it, the other person is, obviously. But, like, was it used?
No.
Okay.
No, you can, unless...
Like, he's never getting that back, I'm sure, but...
Well, here's the thing. If you don't give it back, you're essentially saying, I don't need your jury vote. Like, if I give Snark an idol, and then the next round I'm like, hey, Snark, can I have my idol back?
Oh, sorry. Get the fuck out.
How many people are left?
6. And 3 of them are on my squad.
Okay, but yeah, there are 6 people left, and basically the way you don't give the idol back is you also make sure that Mike is not on the jury. You make it a pick between you and Mike, and you use your immunity that he handed to you between those 2 steps.
Yeah, I guess. Which actually I think is probably, yeah, because there is with the exit of Drea also in this episode, Lindsay, if we remember back to episode 1, Lindsay, Hyde, and Drea all had a 3-way shared advantage. But
yes,
now
she also has an immunity idol.
So
basically, Mike is the only one without one. Almost like
him, Romeo, and Jonathan don't have anything. Assuming Omer doesn't give Mike back the idol.
But Jonathan has permanent immunity because he just wins all the challenges.
Yeah, he wins.
He doesn't need an idol if he's never in the vote.
That's true. Like it'll be interesting. It's happened before. But I think we could honestly get an advantage getting situation at 5 if like Romeo goes out at 6. Which, Dan, if you don't know, in Survivor Game Changers, there was a vote where everyone except one person played an idol or had immunity. So Jeff said, "It doesn't matter what's in here. I'm so sorry, Suri Fields.
Suri, you gotta go. Suri, the girl that everybody loves.
Maybe, like, probably easily the greatest player to never win, and probably like a top 10 player of all time.
Ooh, you think so?
It would be funny
easily,
if it would be even better if nobody wrote her name.
Nobody would have. She was set.
Like, pull the names out, and actually, no, not a single vote for her. They're all like going across.
I think, if memory serves, and I haven't gone back, but I think everyone was either voting for Sarah Lucina or Troyzan at that tribal council.
Yeah, probably Troyzan.
Yeah. So, but too many fucking, and I'm very scared because
there's way too much shit. Way too much shit going on.
I think
everyone has like saddlebag full of shit.
Yeah, and Marianne's got an idol and an extra vote still. So I think, unfortunately, if Omer gives Mike back his idol, which I think he will this week, and then Jonathan wins immunity, like
you think Jonathan's gonna vote for Omar to go?
Like, you kind of have to. Like, who are you voting for? Romeo? Like,
I think that's the easy vote first.
Who's gonna vote for Romeo in the end? Snark?
Yeah, well,
nobody.
No one. So you drag him to the end. Who else you dragging? Marianne?
I don't think. Here's the thing. I think if he tries to vote for Marianne, Marianne has an idol and an extra vote. So, like, odds are you can't even get her out this round.
So who would be next? Mike?
I think Mike's got an idol.
One of them's got to go, and Jonathan's going to win. We're saying Jonathan's going to win an immunity.
I think it's going to be Omer. I think Omer's going to get got. I think the only situation where it's Jonathan is it like Lindsay wins immunity and then plays her idol on Omer.
Yeah, but why would she do that? I don't see why that would work either. I don't see why if anyone plays an idol on anybody else now, it doesn't make any sense. You're down to 4 more days on the show, right?
Yeah.
They're going to be 3 at the end, you think?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, they haven't done a final 2 since Kagian. So, Tony's season, yeah. Yeah, I definitely think there'll be final 3. So,
Someone's going home this week.
And then next week's the finale.
So,
yeah. So, yeah, I guess, man, if I go into the final episode with 3 out of 5, I'm going to feel very good about myself.
I won't. I'll feel terrible for you.
No, and you know what? I just got news from Dustin.
I'll call you a witch.
Wow, rude. Dustin, so we are going to be having Dustin joining us the week after the finale, and we already talked about
to possibly rub our nose in it.
Oh no, we've already said it's just a dunk on you. So I guess we can wait for Daniel before we move on to the next topic. He's back.
What did you just say? Oh my god!
I had to go grab my food.
I was just gonna say, how have you felt about as someone who's watched a lot of Survivor Snark? How do you feel about this season? Like, is it holding up to like older stuff? Because I've really enjoyed this whole season.
I've enjoyed the cast. I don't enjoy, the 500. Everybody has a different thing. 500 things. They probably, you know what? And there's probably a whole bunch of stuff that they didn't even find, and so they didn't even talk about it. They probably had things hidden and messages hidden. They like to do all that shit.
Yeah.
And it's just too much stuff. There's too much stuff. There used to be one. There used to be one when they finally started introducing these things. There was one. Whatchamacallit thing. One idol, and then they started doing 2 idols, and then each camp got an idol, and then each camp got an idol, and then they started putting all kinds of other shit in there too. Like, come on, guys, just one.
See,
that's fine. That's fine. Everybody look for the one idol in the whole fucking camp.
That's great. But then the problem is you get someone like Yule who finds it and then just holds on to it for the whole game and never has to use it.
Okay. Yeah,
but that's also
everybody goes home. It's no problem.
My reaction to that was that, like, my issue is there's not enough stuff because it's all just it's all just an idol. Like, the extra vote is interesting, but like, there's so many things that are just like it's the same prize over and over again that I have the issue with more than how many prizes they're dropping.
Daniel, I would like to direct you to season 32, Go Wrong, where there were extra votes, steal a vote, block a vote a juror member.
That's my season right there.
There was a season, in that season, the final 3 challenge was if you win, you get to vote off a juror.
The better one would be like swap. You swap someone who like got sent home in the first week for somebody who's still there.
Daniel, I would like to direct you to season 38, Edge of Extinction.
The worst.
Well, no, like that, we could talk about that some other day. That's a top half season for me. It's a top 20. I think like maybe not top half, like 2021, somewhere in there.
Okay. And again, depends if you're rating it on the game mechanics or the cast. Like there's different things to factor in here. Are we sports or sports entertainment? Sorry, that's a whole other show.
Bring that up with Dustin. Bring it up with Dustin.
Yeah, but I really like this. I really like this season. Daniel, for you, like this is your first like full season of Survivor. Like, how have you felt so far? Like going into by this time next week will be the day before the finale. So, last chance to really get your thoughts in.
Yeah, and mostly I've been thinking
actually another week to get his thoughts in. To tell you the truth.
Well, that's true. He's gonna have to find a way to watch it before Dustin comes on.
Yeah, I have been thinking mostly that it's fun, but it's not quite like a show that I watch because I really don't watch a lot of reality things like that. And I don't know. I mentioned that I wish like the prizes were more diverse than they are. And other than that, like I do, again, I like all of the characters. I just, could do with more.
There's only one prize.
The big one, like, basically the only show like this that I've watched is The Amazing Race.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that show I literally used to watch every single week with my sister and our mom. And, like, we used to, like, follow each group and we'd all pick our favorites in the first episode and try and hope that they win. And
spoiler alert, I was no good at picking those ones either.
Daniel, I would like to direct you to season 29, San Juan del Sur, Amazing Race crossover.
Jesus Christ. The show's too fucking long. Also, do you just have the list of seasons or are you insane?
No, I know this. I know this all. I could sit here and without breaking a sweat, I could name all the seasons and the winners in order.
Survivor Trivia Schmodown.
I would be very good at that.
And yeah. Yep, that's about all I have to say. I kind of, again, the other thing I would mention is that I wish there was more like to the challenges. Like they all seem like,
one
kind of a wipeout
wins, one
circuit.
Person dies.
Yeah, I think it's really the fact that they're in Fiji and like that's their permanent location. The challenges have gotten kind of stagnant. Some of the older seasons, it's like elaborate mazes and stuff.
Yeah,
and
because it's changing, right? Like,
yeah, they haven't had one of those in a while.
Yeah, I think they
like find them and then make your way back while you're blindfolded, kind of stuff.
I really think that's more of a response to like they don't want like hurt. No, I don't think they want like the Mike Holloways of the world where they win every challenge and then they win.
Yeah,
they want like it's like, well, we have to give him the win. He won all the challenges.
Yeah.
I think they just don't want that. So it's a lot more stand in this place and hold a thing.
Yeah, that's true. Remember when we were talking about there was only one prize. There used to be a couple of prizes because there was a season, you might know the season, when Survivor teamed up with, I believe it was Chevrolet at one point.
Oh, for the first 12 seasons, there was always a car challenge.
But the car, what car I'm thinking of, maybe the ugliest car ever manufactured. The Aztec. With the tent in the back thing. Holy fuck.
Oh my God.
It's like a curse. You were cursed if you won that fucking thing.
Dude, fucking that was so bad and then that's even worse because after Colby wins that, he has the camping trip with his mom where they have to sleep in the same bed. So weird.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Not cool.
Survivor
cool.
Not cool at all.
So one last thing to talk about. We also need Dave here. It's some more trash reality.
Yeah.
This is trash.
What are we talking about here?
Man, The Circle, I'm sorry that this is the season that we're doing this show for, because this season, Man, season 3 was so good, and season 4, I loved the Spice Girls, but it's a little too spicy in the circle.
Oh, snap.
Like
Hashtag snap.
the fact that there's only been 3 actual blockings in 8 episodes.
How many? How does it supposed to work?
Like generally, you get one like every other episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but the Spice Girls took up so much of the airtime that
we should have just had a Spice Girls show. I would have watched that instead.
Oh, I would have just watched Mel B and Emma Bunton hanging out in a hotel with their dog.
I'd like to have people thinking they're on a reality show.
Just show them Twitch.
Meanwhile, it's just the Spice Girls watching them pretend they're in or think they're in a reality show and then just commentating on it.
Yeah,
guys, you can have that idea for free.
No, this the Circle this season, this batch of episodes, I liked that usually they don't like complete the circle and bring in the full cast until like midway through the last batch of episodes, and then that person has just zero chance of winning because they've been there for 12 hours.
Right.
So I'm glad they brought them in like really early. And it is really fun that one of the players is the person who a former winner was catfishing as.
Right. Like when they were all, I remember them talking about that leading up. Oh, and look who's here. It's like, do I fucking know who that fucking person is? It's like, I do not. So yeah, so when they finally came on the show and they explained, yeah, my wife was on here catfishing as me. And she wins the fucking show. It's like, oh shit, okay, I get it. And so now I'm also, gonna be catfishing as your friend. It's like,
I just figured it out.
Okay.
What they should have done if they wanted to add the Spice Girls is literally make a spin-off season and call it The Circle of Spice. And what you do is you have these Spice Girls masquerading, but literally every other contestant needs to know who they are in real life. So everyone is connected to the Spice Girls somehow. And like you have their manager there and they're just typing along and they're like just like so when the reveal happens, you have a bunch of people going like, holy shit, I spoke to this person every day for 12 years and I couldn't tell it was her.
That's what I was saying. I was like, it would be fun if like, I guess you couldn't have had the Spice Girls in there for the whole time, but if you would have been, yeah, because you know what, they were there for probably like a day and a half, but like, you know, they were there for fun. It would have been cool if we had gotten more of those interactions, because like when Alyssa meets the Spice Girls and is like, oh my God, I've been flirting with the Spice Girls this whole time. It's crazy.
Listen, that is spot on. Very, very good imitation.
Thank you. You wait till you hear my Boston Rob.
You've seen the episode 4 times.
I actually did just watch the last batch today because I was like, oh shit, I have to talk about it, and I only watched. I watched
it at work.
I think also, weirdly, this cast, like less drama filled than the other casts, which I think has been kind of a downer, but also they hate each other so much less. And they're all way more passive aggressive, and that does not make for good TV.
Oh. So which season is the one where the guy's wife wins?
Fucking season, I believe that's season 2. Who was on last season? Yeah, that was season 2. And I think season 2 is probably the best season of the US Circle, but season 3 is pretty good too. They had fake Lance Bass on that season.
I think you were telling us about that, like his assistant or something like that.
Yeah, his assistant was playing as him. Someone in the circle knew more about Lance Bass than his assistant.
Well, that's not something to be proud of. That is something to be ashamed of.
Like those seasons are definitely, if this season piqued your interest at all, go back to season 2 and 3, and they're all
on season 2.
Well, okay, if just but Do you though?
I do not.
Exactly.
I'm gonna start with season 2.
Right.
Yeah. It's really great. Those seasons are good because the first season is very much, and I don't mind saying this, it's like, hey, we were the first 5 in here, so we're the winners. And they just never break that a lot. Very much Survivor Borneo, where Toggy is just like, we win. But season 2, because they had seen season 1 and were shown the British version, they're like, we got to play the game. And also, we hate each other.
Have you watched any of the international versions of the show?
I've seen all of the UK seasons, and I'll say they're better. They're different, but they're better.
Is the difference between the US circle and say the UK circle like US Big Brother and British Big Brother, or are they more similar?
It's less like structurally they're the same, but England, they have like this weird morality about them where they're like, I would never get into an alliance. It's so unethical. Oh. And that's like how everyone but one person every season.
Am I in London? Am I talking to an Englishman?
Also, that is the one thing I do know about English people is they're not big on alliances.
So far.
Fucking history burn.
Or even just Brexit.
Yeah.
Just right up until present day.
Yeah. The more things change, the more they say the same, right? But yeah, that's more. It's like they're much more They're much more character based than strategy based in the UK, but the structure of the show is very similar.
All right. I heard. I'm gonna see if they have a Circle season 2 soundtrack on Spotify because the music I've been digging. Like I heard Stereo MC's Connected and their Depeche Mode's Enjoy the Silence was on.
That is always something that gets me where I'm like, what is the budget for the Circle's music library? Because some of this shit is expensive.
They can't be paying the contestants much, right? They got to be paying them like for the cash prize, the $150,000 cash prize to mean whatever. They can't be paying these guys too.
Well, like it's an appearance fee, so like they got to be paying them like a couple $100 per episode, right?
Are they getting paid more than us?
More than you guys are getting paid. Daniel?
Oh shit,
Daniel. But I really am enjoying. But I liked the. I thought the antivirus chain software thing was a fun wrinkle. We saw that in Big Brother Canada this season, and even though I think it's such a bullshit cliffhanger because there's no way Carol is safe.
I think it's Alyssa that goes. I think it stays Carol because that's always going to be somebody going. It's always going to be someone else.
I don't think so. I don't. They've invested so much into Alyssa's character.
I like that.
Frank's
still safe, and I'm a big Frank fan. Crystal went. I was pretty upset about that.
I was devastated over Crystal leaving. I was like, she became my favorite character in the roast episode, and she left in the roast episode.
Yeah, terrible.
How
fucking terrible was that? Those were fucking brutal. And Nikki Glazer is a fucking shit actress, and just watching her read this movie is terrible.
Also, like Dave would have no frame of reference for this, but as you said that, I just had an image of Amber Benson, who plays Tara in Buffy. She's added to the main title sequence, and her actor's name comes up and everything, and then she's killed in that episode. It's the only episode that she's in the title sequence for.
You're sure?
You know what? Sometimes you get big actors and they do that. No spoilers, but something similar happened.
Oh no, she was on the show for several seasons already. It was the first time she was upgraded from guest to main cast, and she's in the main title sequence, and it's the episode she dies.
Buffy only changed their title sequences in season 4 times.
Wow. Should I watch Buffy? Is it worth it?
Fuck yeah!
Yeah, you should. You should gloss over a lot of season 1 though. Like you should watch season 1 slightly inebriated.
Yeah. Well, what am I gonna say? Yeah. I was high as shit when I watched it. And
It was definitely the most 1997 thing.
Yeah, well, maybe if I got some free time, maybe if one of you win the Survivor draft, you can make me watch Buffy.
Oh yeah, that'll be great. Once
either one of
Mike
you
wins this all.
Either one of you could win. Either one of you could win.
Rob is player still?
Fucking dare they? How fucking dare they? I'm still livid.
Rob's had players since week 5?
Snark's, I did the math. Snark's average draft placement is 10th.
Yeah, not great.
My average draft placement, no matter how the lowest I can get, is 5th.
Not bad, not bad.
All that and $6 gets you a bag of chips.
You're overpaying for my chips, man.
I don't. Only making a few $100s an episode, just like the circle jerk.
Again, you said we're getting paid?
No, I never said that.
Okay.
I said.
Yeah, Rob's divulging trade secrets here, so maybe we should get on to some plugs. So I don't know, you're actually on camera for once, so how about you let the people know where you can find a producer, Dave?
Where I can find a producer, Dave? In the mirror.
Yes.
Every
Where do
morning.
you find him?
I find him rummaging through the trash out back.
I don't have a backyard.
It's a different guy. Different
guy. You can find me at Leaves Me Alone on Twitter, but that's a terrible follow, so don't check that out. Instead, follow at Group of the North on
whatever it is
on Twitter. Thank you. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Right here, idiot. You're already watching it. Just hit subscribe, or Snark will get you.
That's old. That is
coming up at the end of this month with the launch of Obi-Wan, we'll be doing another Northern Rankings of the North, which Snark really agrees with every time, and nothing's ever been wrong. This time featuring the Star Wars movies.
Oh my god, I just read all your comments. I never mentioned ours. Yeah, did you?
Yeah, I just read all those today. I was like, oh my.
I was freaking out.
So look for that survey probably coming out in the next week. And speaking of surveys, Daniel.
Yes, I was about to mention that I totally forgot to talk about it earlier when we were talking about She-Hulk. And you can find, we're currently running a survey on the multiple different MCU shows that have been released on Disney+. I threw in a couple of questions about some upcoming shows and some interesting characters that have been introduced. And I assume literally Ms. Marvel comes out the 8th. We have an episode the 7th. We will likely close and compile before then, and then talk about it a little bit on that day. And
close and compile.
I have no idea what that means.
Like compile results. Because I will have to close the survey, compile the results, and talk about it on
very good.
On the episode.
Okay.
I'm doing the survey right now, and so can you.
Well, maybe it
literally, it takes less than 30 seconds. There's only 9 quick multiple choice questions, and actually there's 8 of them. Yeah, there is one right-in answer. I'm so sorry.
That's why all my surveys are star answers.
And I was looking for the star one, and honestly, I was having a lot of trouble clicking the star ratings on my mobile device, and that's why I went for the multiple choice and the letter grades for this one.
They'll show up 24 hours later.
And so I hope everybody, has a chance to go through that. I really want to see what everyone's been thinking of the MCU shows, and to find out what the definitive best MCU show is. And we're gonna decide that. And the answer will probably be Netflix's Daredevil.
I'm not going to get angry at anything these people say either.
Yes, you will.
Well,
you
I also
probably
have to give enough of a shit to get too angry.
And
so
yes, to touch
if
on
something show up at number one, I'll get exceedingly angry. But if other
to
things
touch on the Star Wars one, though, I cannot wait to rate The Last Jedi very highly. And I'm sure that's like my 8th strike at this point. So how about I let everybody know that you can find me at Corrupted Canuck on Twitter. That's corrupted with a K. And you can find me all around these parts every single Tuesday, except for, the times when we're not here. Yep, we'll be back next week. Snark, where can the people find you?
Coming soon, you may be able to find me at an operating table or a courtroom near you, because I'm a fucking doctor, lawyer now, and that's legit.
I don't think it is.
Listen, we'll find out. You know what? Who's the doctor here? Me or you?
If you ask my Cineplex card, it's me.
I didn't know that was legally binding. Now I'm going to take you to court and find out, because I can do that. Because I'm also
if anyone's the doctor, it's 50.
Fair.
Oh my god. Where else can you find me?
He's the 50th.
You find me all over. You find me all over this networky thing, doing stuff with people. I've been on 50 Show. I've been on our friend Daniel's show over at the Universe of Intergeekdom? How do you say it? I can never remember. Intergeekdomverse.
I believe that would be Ben's channel, the Multiverse of Geekdom.
I can never remember.
No, Daniel, isn't your channel Universe of Geekdom?
Yeah, the Geekdom. I'm so bad at things. What else? I have a Patreon show with our friends over at LGF that I do every weekend, unless shit happens, and then we'll do it at some other point. You know how it goes.
You can find Rob about everywhere.
You'll find me here Tuesdays talking about TV and not even getting mad at anybody.
Different versions of Rob exist all over. He's kind of like Kang the Conqueror, and he may be about to destroy the multiverse, but we'll have to wait several more Marvel series and some movies before we find out.
Rob is the only constant. Now,
I've been saying this for years.
Before we officially end the show, and I'll let Daniel take out, which video would you like me to play to exit? The 30-second countdown or the intro that I cut off early?
I kind of want you to play the 30-second countdown, because I was wanting to bring up at the beginning of the episode that I think the 30-second countdown is less than 30 seconds.
Oh.
Because I'm pretty sure by the time it ended, my live clock said 21.
Whoa. Okay, well, Daniel, take us away.
Yeah. That's how they got it. They missed 9 seconds. They missed 9 seconds a minute.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. For myself, for Rob, for producer Dave, for the entire Northern Entertainment Group, thank you, and we will see you next week.